Hi guys, welcome back here to part 2 of the tutorial. Right, so here we go, the outside of the A330 that we're just about to take from Bangkok to Glasgow. So the next best thing for us to do is, we've done all the flight planning, done all the checks and that stuff that were required before. So let's get the doors shut and jump in the cockpit and start this baby up with getting the before start checklists done. Right, so now you join me in the cab, and now we start the checklist.
Before start checks. Battery switches.
On.
Generator control switches.
Off.
Nav light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Flaps.
Up.
Throttles.
Idle.
Fuel cutoff switches.
Cut off.
Ground proximity warning system.
Checked.
Equipment cooling panel.
Set.
Probe heat.
On.
Passenger signs.
On.
ATIS.
Obtained.
Altimeter.
Set.
Takeoff weight.
Checked.
Flight recorder.
Set.
Doors.
Closed.
Beacon light.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Right, now we assume that we've had our clearance for, what do you call it, pushback, so let's get the aircraft pushback and get the aircraft started now. I should point out that, say, let's see when they're running for the checklist, there is some of the stuff that you need to do yourself. Some of the stuff will be automatic, like say the landing lights and taxi lights will be automatic, and no smoking signs and that will be automatic. But things that you have to physically check, they will.
Okay, let's pull up the after start
definitely
checklist.
make you doing this.
After start checklist. Generator control switches.
On.
Engine anti-ice.
Off.
Flight director.
On.
As an example there, I had to switch it on myself.
Set.
Trim, let's set our trim. That's set. Flaps, let's set our flaps.
Set.
Flight controls.
Slow it down to there so you can see me moving them about.
Flight controls free and clear.
Taxi light.
Taxi light, you have to switch on yourself.
On.
Transponder.
The transponder would normally be set when you're IFR, because we're VFR, we might set it manually.
After start checklist complete.
Now, what do you call it, I'm going to pull off. I pulled down the ND here of the VAS FMC. It allows me to keep track of my, what do you call it, taxi speeds, because this has not got a virtual cockpit. So I've cut the taxi down here, and this is just approaching us onto the runway just now. And what do you call it, and I'm going to let them take off the after start checklist.
Okay, let's run the before takeoff checklist.
Yeah, thank you. He said it.
Before takeoff checklist. Cabin crew.
Notified.
Radar.
Set.
Flaps.
Set.
Recall.
Checked.
Transponder.
Set.
I must apologise for my
Landing
frame rates here.
On.
Strobe light.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Right, now they've got the checkoff checklist, let's get what clears the taxi onto the runway and take off.
November, Indian Romeo 1, 4, having cleared for takeoff, runway 21, right, departure to the south approved.
Right, now we're all lined up with the runway, let's get ourselves into this cockpit and let's get this bird in the air. Right, so first thing was we arm the auto throttles, because we're going to be running up. We now arm our altitude. Now we are ready to go to 220. I've now set to filming the runway heading of 210, and now let's take the engines up, let them stabilise, and now we go fully up to flex. Oh, a wee bit windy out here today. fully in the flex now.
80 knots.
80 knots called.
V1. Rotate.
V1 rotate.
V2.
Pull back. V2 reached. Aircraft taken to the air, nice and gently. Big beastie up.
Flat 0.
This is first officer taking care of the flaps. Remember the settings that I was doing, 3, 2, 1. That's exactly what they're doing. They're pulling the. Let's get to a clean speed. Let's engage with our auto throttle now. Slows down for 220. So we need that for the thing. And we're autopilot.
Climb thrust.
Climb thrust called. Let's give a transition here.
Bangkok departure, November, India, Romeo 14 Heavy, is type Airbus, 3 miles southwest of Bangkok, 1,800. Request clearance to transition, Charlie, airspace. November, India, Romeo 14 Heavy, Bangkok departure, squawk 2667.
Listen, I'll just squat code. And now you see the engines are spooling back now to slow us down for the 220. So you've got to be careful when you're setting this with the A330. It tends to kind of overrun the speed restriction, hence the reason why I had it at 220.
After takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Up.
After takeoff checklist complete.
Well, did your checklist and then answer the radio.
November, India, Romeo 14 Heavy.
Right, so let's pull out the FMCU here. As you can see now, I'm engaging the automatic pilot from the FMC. You've got to make sure the 3 dots are up where it says heading. This is now, as you can see, the heading's changing up to 290, 294, 2956. That is the FMC taking control of the aircraft and actually turning it. As long as you have the GPNS enabled, it will fly out the route. As you can see, I've pulled down the ND display off of the FMC. I'm going to get us to zoom in here, so I'm going to need to get the FSU, and get it up and ready. And then that will zoom us in. Magic of editing, I did it again. There we go. Let's zoom in here so we can follow the SID. Remember the altitude restraint there, it's there, 6,000 up to Frank, and then we make our way up to Lima, I think it was. Could be wrong. So we'll just watch that there. So just to prove we are, bring up the MCDU and click on the flight plan. There you can see we're falling there with the altitude restraint of 6,000. And we're just coming up to that just now. Bring up the FMCU. Let's zoom in a bit more because I want to watch this very carefully because I want to set the aircraft up for when I'm going to start my climb up to 33,000 feet. So in preparation of that, I'm going to get my first officer here. I'm going to tell him what I want him to do. I want us to get ready for 33,000 feet. So in a minute we pass this way marker. This is past the way marker, 33,000 feet is entered. We're climbing at 850 feet per minute, and I've just increased the aircraft speed to 250 knots, and we're going to climb all the way up to about 10,000, and then what do you call it, we're going to get the aircraft into a more comfortable climb. I think I'm going to increase that up to 1800 for the climb up to 10,000 feet. Yep, there we go. Bingo! That's it. Going to start our climb up to 10,000 feet. And now you join us here. Just coming up again, we're just closer into Frank. The other part of our SID. We'll make my turn just now. This is us on our final legs of the SID.
November, Indian Romeo 14 Heavy. Contact on Peng San approach at 127.75.
I'll acknowledge that.
Point 127.75. November, Indian Romeo 14 Heavy.
We'll carry on with that.
Compensate approach. November, Indian Romeo 14 Heavy. With you 8,500. November. November, India, Romeo 14 Heavy. Hang Sang approach, roger. Altimeter 29991.
Timer's all set. What on is that?
120.5.
This is us just coming up to 10,000 feet. We're waiting for the first officer. He'll then kick in and tell us to turn the taxi and the landing lights off. Just cut the video. Speed up a little bit. As you can see, there's there. You don't kick in.
Landing and taxi lights off, please.
And now you see he does that automatically there for us. And because we're sitting there at 10,000 feet, I think it's time we actually get the aircraft up to 8,800 feet climb rate per minute. Sit back, relax, begin our climb, and we're cruise for the next 13 hours. So I'm going to cut the video very soon and get us all ready for us. The next point you should be joining us, we should be beginning with descent and approach into Glasgow. Let's see, we're still here, still doing the climb. And there we go. I've cut the video now, so you'll now catch us on our initial climb, our cruise. But I've got a little confession to make here. I made a pig zero of this. Somehow, or somewhere, or something I've done has taken us a little mystery detour. And I'm afraid I totally messed up on that one, so just how much of a detour? There you go. I'm going to zoom in. There's where we came up from. About halfway through the journey we took our detour, and we're now coming in from the north. Oh dear, I made a wee balls. So I've changed things up in the MCDU. I'm now heading toward TLA. So next time you join me, we'll be talking about that some more. So this is me going to be getting on the rest of my cruise back to Glasgow. As I say, we should be coming in via Aberdeen, if I'm not mistaken, very close to it. Pick up TLA and then climb down to Margo, start our star into Glasgow. Yep, there we go. As I've just checked there, this has now reached just Aberdeen, and we'll begin a few things for our star. As I said, this is the first point of our star, last point, which is LAN, Lanark, right? So I've just zoomed in plan G here so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. There's TLA down at the bottom. We're going to go down to that point first, then we're going to make our way down to where the arrow is just now. Somewhere about there is where, Margot's sitting. She's hiding behind all that. So plan G is good. These are all navigational aids and that stuff that you can use. I'll maybe do a tutorial about that later on at another point when I'm using it. As you can see, we're just coming down by Stonehaven now, and we'll try and so let's talk about start. As you can see on the ND display here, where we need to go. Well, we've got to go down to TLA, make a left turn, point down towards Magro. So there's a lot of things. So I've already started the initial descent of down to 2,600 because of our altitude restraint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the VREF a wee bit more steep because we need to be down there quite quickly actually. Now here's the fault with FSS. So the minute you change that altitude and start descending, it automatically kicks off the auto throttle, and you've got to make sure it's physically back on. It does it any time that you change this, so you've got to be ready for it. So at this stage here, I tend to keep FSS up on the screen so I can keep an eye on these wee green markers at the side of it. That just keeps me in eye. As I say, better put the seat belts on since we're starting our descent and star into Glasgow. That will help. So, I'm going to start setting the plane up a bit more. As you can see, all the seat belts and all that's already done just for using the FSSO. It's night time now, so it's going to be an interesting landing, and it's quite dark. And Glasgow can be quite dark when you come into it. And we've got a mountainous range just where in front of runway 23. There's an old saying we say over here in Glasgow, Look for the V, lines you up with runway 23. I do not think we'll able to see that tonight. And we're sitting here with a good headwind on us. We've been battling it quite a lot of the way. What do you call it, since we got the top of our, how should I put it, detour. Thank Christ it's an A3 ferry and there was enough fuel inside it for us to do it. Now as you can see, I'm marking down here, there's our next part of our altitude restraints, and that stuff down to 7,000, and our speed restriction at Air Lanark. So let's get the VOR. As you can see there, I'm switching it to TLA, so it's all ready and set up. No, sorry, that's the ATIS. I'm setting up there. And now we're following the TLA's VOR, which is set. And then in the secondary one there is the ILS frequency for the runway at Glasgow, which is 23. So I'm just setting up the radios. And now as you can see here, I cut the video a wee bit, and that's us now reached Margot. So we're doing our U-turn here. I should maybe have chosen a better star on that one actually. There's actually one that would have done better, but too much to try and change it just now. So here we go, there's where we are. TLA 1B is where we're heading for. Then we're going to TLA again. Hit the altitude restraint of 7,000 at 250 knots. Should make that, I think, if I plan it right. It's going to be a pretty quick descent actually from 26,000. Pretty much. So let's set it in. And let's get the, what do you call it, VRF. I'm going to 800 feet a minute. I'm going to see when that takes us just now. Before dropping it. I probably will be dropping that, but I want to see how quickly and close we get to it. As you can see, I've got the GPS up here now as well, so you can actually kind of like give you a better idea roughly the area as well, and just the ND. What do you call it? Set up. So right, we're all set up there. We've done the TLA and that stuff, so I think it's time. There we go. We swap over for the ILS frequency. So that's the plane now ready to intercept the ILS once we get near the runway. And let the FMC pull us in there towards it. And as you can see here, we're joining us up here, we're at 1700 feet, we're approaching Lanark. As I said to you, I did change that, so I want to make sure I can hit it, so I'm going to slow the aircraft down a little bit. So I'm going to put it in there, and slow it down so we intercept that at a good time. And we're going to need a little bit of drag, I think, for this one. I think we will be, I'll think about that. So just get the GPS cell set up for us as well, so you can follow it with the GPS. And as I say, I think I'm going to actually, yep, I'm definitely going to, yep, here we go. I'm going to pull the drag on because we're going into a steep descent. As I said to you, FSSO does kill the auto throttles when you do it, but because of the speed of the descent I'm going to be doing here, I'm wanting idle. I want the aircraft to be idle because it's quite a steep descent. You can see 1300 feet and I'm still got to get down to 7,000, and I've got to remain below 250 knots. So you can see I've done that, and as I said, he's already set, what do you call it, for us, but I'm going to get him ready again for when we're cruising. So I want to be cruising about 220, because I initially just want to cozy in there before I start bringing the speed up. I think it's time to contact Glasgow now. Let's get that set in. I'm going to click on this airport, Glasgow, and attain the ATIS. Just to make sure it's still runway 23 landing, because it can change any time. I still know it's runway 23, but I just wish to make sure. So just come down to about 10,000 feet, and it's just in front of us. We should make it. There we go, ILS, runway 23, and we're at 291. So
Landing and taxi lights on, please.
There, FSSO kicking in for the landing taxi lights because we're going below 10,000 feet, and we made the altitude restraint. Ooh, it's going to be really tight, but we'll do it. I just need to keep the aircraft running slow. I'll just acknowledge that pattern.
Light left, base, runway 23, November, India, Romeo, 14, heavy.
Right, Let's begin with our initial approach. We've cut that down there, but this is us beginning, what do you call it, when we're turns, and then on to final, then we're going to land this big boy. So, what I've done, because I need to line up things, the FMC will take you in and brings in it too tight a turn for the to intercept the ILS. So I'm flying the aircraft manually at this point, what do you call it, keeping altitude restraint on. I've now set up the speed brakes, and now I'm going to arm the localizer. No, I'm not. Better turn that back to nav, because or else it won't set the ILS frequency if it's not set. And then we'll start to turn the aircraft. Let's get the aircraft set up for it. And as you can see here, I've set the aircraft up for an ILS. Where you can see the wee triangle dot and that stuff. So once we get the FMC, will tell us that we're captured. What do you call it? The device that will start to move or adjust. It'll also give us a warning as well that the course is alive as well. As you can see on the left hand side of the horizon, here we go, the ILS dots and that are there. I will get rid of the ND, what do you call it, because we don't need it, because the aircraft's got a pretty good one here. But it's good if you've got any other aircraft that's pretty hard to see, like say the dash that we've got. It's a great one to use in the virtual cockpit, just putting it in right on the left hand side. Or you can use
down.
artificial horizon. So there we go, we get the gear down now. We're at 5,000 feet, just above Cumbernauld, lining up ourselves for the approach. And now I think it's time we actually did that.
Okay, I'm ready for the approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeter.
Set.
Course alive.
There we go.
Seatbelt sign.
Seatbelts are on.
On.
Flaps.
Set.
Approach
Seatbelts
checklist
alive, and then
complete.
we'll activate the approach. That's it. Took a couple of times, but it worked. As you can see in the GPS here, we're just coming in towards the ILS beam. You can actually start to see the wee dots starting to move, or the wee triangle there. It gives a wee shout that the glide slope's alive. And once that does that, then I'm going to keep an eye on my speed. I'm going to fluctuate speed to try and keep ourselves running, but it should be initially running about 167, I think, with the VREF reference, with the weight and everything that we're carrying. That has to be done by using your weights, fuel, balance and that stuff all gives you your weight references. That can be called at a later date. As I said, this is only just a basic tutorial. I've done probably loads of mistakes in this thing that probably you won't normally do. No doubt you'll probably let me know where I went wrong, but as I said, this is based at anybody who's just a beginner and showing you some toys, you know, that you can get that's out there and available for all used to use and enjoy. So that says the glide slope's now been captured. And the altitude is being taken off. That's just starting the descent into Glasgow at 2,900. You've got to start that there because of the, remember it's telling you mountainous terrain. I said in daylight you can actually line up with it. There's a V in the mountain, that's what I'm saying. Line up with a V, keeps you in runway 23. So that's us, we'll stand there, we're coming down, just there, the runway in sight. So again, the frame rates are really bad just now because I'm running everything just now.
1,000.
And we'll call it 1,000. Full glide slope on the radar, altitude's there as well if you need that. We're at full flaps, 167 knots.
1,000.
Hitting the 1,000 again because the terrain's underneath us is changing, using the radial altimeter, just keep your eye on that. We get down to about 500, I'm going to kill the auto throttles. And about 200 is your minimums where I would normally disengage the autopilot if it was quite bad. But because the tutorial today is going to be an auto land, so you won't hear me disconnecting this.
$500.
And 500. Let me just leave this to minimums.
400. 300.
Just dropped the mic there, sorry guys.
Minimum.
Minimums, let's kill it. Take it off. reduce it down to idle.
100,
If you don't, the FMC will be calling retard.
40, 30, 20.
And there we go, touchdown. Landing. That's it. So let's get the spoilers are all deployed, reverse first is kicked in, and we're running down to the end of the runway here. I'm going to cut it here and get us all set up for the taxi. So this is us just turning off the runway, and time to do our after landings checks.
After landing checklist, please.
After landing checklist. Landing light.
Let's untick that.
Off.
As you can see outside the turned
Strobe
off.
light.
Strobe lights are off.
Off.
Pitot here I'm just going to turn
Flaps.
off as well. We don't really need that down there. The flaps are all up. Well, helps if I turn that up. Yeah.
Up.
F5.
Radar.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
Right, so because it was a long taxi, this is us just coming up to the gate now. I'm just going to put us up to the gate and then I'm going to start shutdown checklist. Once you get used to it, you actually tend to do this a bit quicker than what they say, so you get into the way of things. So that's A330 from VTB in
Shutdown
Bangkok
checklist.
to Glasgow.
Parking
So
brake.
here we go, we start the
Set.
checklist.
Fuel cutoff switches.
Closed.
Engine anti-ice.
Off.
Beacon
Oops,
light.
forgot to put DP.
Off.
Seatbelt sign.
They do that automatic.
Off.
Shutdown checklist complete.
And that completes our flight. And as you can see, we came down there through Aberdeen, hit TLA, down to Margaux, came back up, and you can see where it disengaged it, curled right around, arced in, and landed at Glasgow. So there you go, there's where we are. And that's as easy as that. For us, now we've done all that stuff, now you bring up your key cards. What you see here in front of you is what you've got. So what do? We initially hit stop, and then it comes up to this point here. All your information, your flight's there, you can have a quick read of that. Then when you want to file it, click on the green tick, and we wait. It can take a couple of minutes, it just takes a wee while sometimes to come up. And once it comes up, there you should see this, file, prep filed. Click OK, and that's it. That's you done. That's how to file your PIREP, and then it will be approved by one of ourselves. What do you call it? Of the staff. They're saying if you just want to make sure that it has actually filed, just go up to the pilot centre, click on, and then click on View PIREPs. And then you'll see this, approval pending. This is where it's waiting for any member of the staff at caal to check the PIREP and check it, see if everything's alright, everything manages out, and that the landing rates are within what we deem acceptable. Don't worry about it too much, because I made a complete mess of my landings. It's all about fun here, and I hope you all enjoy it. I'm glad I've made this video, and I hope that you enjoy it, and it's going to be of some use to you. So this is me signing off, and I hope this is something you enjoy. Thank you again. This is Chip Boyle, your Vice CEO. I'll see you later.